Hey Cancer, welcome to your weekly forecast for August 22nd through the 28th. Now, you might stumble upon this video in a few weeks, a few months, a few years. You're going to see it whenever you're meant to see it. Keep in mind it's a general reading for the collective, therefore not every single message is going to resonate, but take what does, leave what doesn't. So without further ado, my dears and my darlings, we're going to see what's coming up here for Cancer Sun, Moon, and Rising. Let's see what's coming up here for the collective. One more shuffle. All right, let's do it. Nothing to it but to do it, right? Move you all just a little bit closer. First card coming up here for the collective is the Seven of Swords. Now, Seven of Swords can come up in a couple of different ways. You might be in a situation where you need to be cautious because there could be someone you're dealing with that doesn't have the best motives or intentions. And oftentimes it can be like somebody's trying to take something from you. It may not be like physically stealing in terms of like somebody coming in and like taking your wallet or taking your car or something like that, but it could be getting you or convincing you to hand something over. Sometimes Seven of Swords comes up when somebody's trying to trick you or convince you or impress you into doing something for them or giving them something. Sometimes it could be Seven of Swords coming up because you need to be careful and cautious in the situation so as not to draw attention to yourself. You may be preparing to leave a situation, and it may be requiring that you step quietly, that you not draw attention to yourself in this process. Now, you all showed up in Scorpio's reading, and so I'm turning over cards here, and I'm looking, and I don't see any cards here that flat out say Scorpio, but you all showed up in Scorpio's reading, so it could be a good idea to check out the reading for Scorpio if you're dealing with a Scorpio, because, and I'm not saying this in a negative way, I'm saying this quite honestly. I'm not putting down Scorpio, although I'm sure some of you maybe want to come in the comments and say, negative things about Scorpio. I am a Scorpio sun, okay? So I'm not saying this in a negative way, but Scorpios can sometimes be secretive, and Scorpios might be like making moves in silence or doing things quietly. So if you are dealing with a Scorpio, Cancer, some of you may be dealing with a Scorpio that might be doing something seemingly out of left field, or that might take you by surprise, and maybe Spirit is just bringing this to your attention, just so that just so that it's not so much of a shock, or so that it's not difficult to process. Okay. I don't feel that it's anything malicious, but it might be something that's coming as a surprise to you. I didn't know you were doing that. I didn't know you were thinking about that. I didn't know, there could be something that a Scorpio is doing quietly or on the down low, not drawing attention to it, not discussing it. That might take you by surprise. In fact, the next card here is the Ten of Wands. And Ten of Wands could be some kind of a burden. And so you're being told to lay this burden down, to just kind of let go. Whatever could be done in this situation has been done. And you've done everything you were meant to. You've learned everything you were meant to. You've taught everything that you could teach. And like you've done your best, and you don't have to carry this burden anymore. You don't have to worry about it. For some of you, regardless of Scorpio, like let's take Scorpio out of the equation here, but for some of you, it could just be that someone is about to take a decision or a step that you're like, oh my gosh, what are you doing right now? Like, like I wouldn't advise you to do this, or I don't think this is a good idea. But the Ten of Wands is saying you've done everything you could do for this person. You've taught them everything that you can teach them. You have done everything that you could, and you don't have to take this on your shoulders as a burden where like it's going to be your fault if things go wrong. This isn't your obligation anymore. It isn't your responsibility. For some of you, this could be a child. Okay, it could be a child. But when I say child, like a grown child, you might have a child that's an adult now. They're making their own decisions, and you might be like, "Holy cannoli! What are you doing, kid? What in the world are you doing, kid?" But again, it's like you've done everything you could do in this situation. It's not your fault. You don't have to fight it. You don't have to change it. For some of you, the Seven of Swords could be somebody sweet talking you and putting a lot of things on your shoulders, like a lot of burdens on your shoulders. So, like in a work situation, you might be really overworked. You might be really overwhelmed. You might be going to your boss and saying, "Gosh, this is an awful lot of work," or "I'm really stressed out," or like I really need a raise. And they might say something like, "Oh my gosh, Cancer, it's such tough times right now. You know what the economy is like. We really wish that we could. You're so amazing. You're the best. Oh my gosh, if you ever left me, I don't know what I would do. I'd have to close this place down. We wouldn't be able to make it without you. I really wish I could do more for you, but I can't." And they might say things where they're like stroking your ego and piling more and piling more and piling more. And the Ten of Wands is saying it's not worth it for you to sacrifice your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health, to jump through hoops for somebody, right? Even if they are flattering you, or even if they are making you feel appreciated in some way, you got to look out for yourself at the end of the day. Maybe you're not going to tell them that, and you're going to line your little ducks up in a row, and you're going to walk out when you have everything set up and you walk out to the next thing. But for some of you, there could be this kind of dynamic or this kind of situation. The next card that's coming up here for the Cancer Collective is the Four of Wands. And the Four of Wands, it has kind of gotten typecast about marriage, okay? So there could be marriage here coming up for some of you. Maybe some of you are sneaking off and eloping or running away with somebody. Maybe some of you, maybe one of you have like an adult kid that's gonna run off and elope. That can be here in the case for some of you. And some of you may be just kind of manifesting home security, stability. Some of you may be laying down a burden to go back home or spend some time back home, or to just work on your foundation in your personal life, like kind of make personal life a priority, your friendships, your family, your relationship. Because Four of Wands is also a card that comes up when we have a sense of roots. We have roots, we have community, a sense of home, a solid foundation, and the aspects of abundance, about just happy life. Abundance is not just money, right? It's all the other aspects of life. It's every good thing. So some of you may be taking some time away to focus on your private life, your personal life, a sense of home, a sense of community. Okay, there could also be some kind of invitation to a celebration for some of you, and maybe you're saying, "Oh, I can't go, or I can't do it. There's too much going on right now. It's too busy." But the Four of Wands is saying that to attend, it's gonna be something worth your while. It's gonna be something that you can enjoy. Maybe somebody is inviting you to a wedding or a reunion or a social occasion, and you don't want to go because of past experiences. But this is telling us that you may benefit by attending such an occasion if you're receiving an invitation to something like that. Your next card here is the Knight of Swords. And Knight of Swords could be an air sign person, a Libra, a Gemini, or a Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Knight of Swords can be conflict, though. It can be conflict, it can be disagreement, it could be arguing, it could be fighting. So for some of you, if you're dealing with someone who's making a decision that you don't agree with, and you think you're gonna come in and you're gonna give them an ultimatum, or you're gonna tell them you can't do this, or you're not thinking. Knight of Swords makes me feel like if you're doing that, you need to be ready for a fight. You need to be ready for a fight. Because this is someone who's gonna push back. This is someone who's gonna be like, I'm doing this. You can give me an ultimatum. You can tell me whatever you want. I've made up my mind that I'm doing this. This is the direction I'm going in. And so I just feel like here there's potential for conflict. It doesn't have to be a conflict. But this is someone who has made up their mind about a situation or about a scenario. It could also be you. You just might be so fed up with how much is being put on your shoulders, and you're like, you want that happiness, you want that consistency, you want to put down your roots. And the Knight of Swords might mean that you're like, no more Mr. Nice Guy. I'm tired. Like, you just want to sit here and flatter me. You just want to sit here and stroke my ego. At the end of the day, that's giving me nothing but stress and, penny pinching or whatever it might be, or loneliness, and I don't want to do that anymore. And I know what I want, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to get it. So for some of you, this Knight of Swords could be you yourself being in this energy of no more Mr. Nice Guy. I'm tired of this. I know what I want. I'm getting it. Get out of my way. Um and for some of you, it can be a situation where you might be confronting someone who's being sneaky about a situation, or I don't know if I want to say sneaky, secretive maybe is a better word. And you don't like the choices that they're making or the path they're going down, and they may push back and they might say, look, especially if, some of you have a dynamic here with like an adult child. There could be a dynamic here where your adult child might just be like, thank you, but I'm doing it anyway, right? And you just kind of, I think that's what some of you are going to have to brace yourself for. It is a general reading. This may not be your reading, and that's okay. You may want to check out your moon sign, your rising sign. Sometimes that might resonate more than your sun sign, or it might add a little extra information. Overall, Cancer, I feel like some of you have really been making certain sacrifices or doing certain things because you want like a positive result or a positive blessing. And the message here this week is that you don't have to be so scared that you're going to be punished for something, or that you have to, not step on any cracks, to keep disaster from happening. Everybody makes their own decision. Everybody is responsible for their own consequences. You may be trying to keep a company from going out of business. You may be trying to keep a loved one from making a mistake. You may be trying to keep a child from making a mistake. But at the end of the day, we can't save people from their life lessons or their karma, and we have to let people have their own experiences. It almost feels to me like the little, like I don't know what the book is called, and I've looked for it as an adult and I haven't been able to find it, but I remember in kindergarten the teacher reading it to us, and it was the little Dutch boy with his finger in the dam. Like he felt like he had to save the village. He had to stop the leak in the dam and put his finger in there. You don't have to be sitting there putting your life on hold with your finger in the dam trying to keep it from bursting. You don't have to take everything on your shoulders, right? It's not your responsibility, it's not your obligation. You can live your life. This is not like a punishment for you. Like, we can't control or decide what other people are going to do. So at the end of the day, be in your Four of Wands, focus on your Four of Wands, have your Four of Wands, and don't worry about having to pass some test, or proving that you're a good person, or being the superhero. Take that pressure off of yourself. You may want to check out the other weekly forecast. There's a link in the description that will take you to the other weekly forecast. Also, a link in the description that will take you to the love and romance readings for August and September. Also, a link in the description that will take you to my scheduling page. If you want to schedule a private reading with me, it will take you to calendly.com/amethystangelite. So be sure to check those out if you'd like, and be sure to check out the daily messages on the channel as well. I hope you all have a fabulous week ahead. Thank you for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Hope to see you on the daily messages as well. Take care, my darlings.